Well, welcome back to Bear's Rod Shop here for a Wednesday, July, I think it's the 27th or 8th. It's so hot out here in Texas, I forgot what temperature it is. I mean, you know, what day is. But back on the, what I called the nightmare yesterday on a couple of videos on the Dodge D250, pulling out the evaporator slash heater core box from inside the car. What all it involves. Watched a lot of good videos. Been turning wrenches 42 plus of my 68 plus years. And the reason I call it a nightmare, it was the first one that was really challenging. I think Chrysler come in there and changed up their heater core boxes on purpose to make you feel like you need to take it to a dealership or an ASE garage somewhere and give up. But with the bride's help, we have got it out. Got it out on the ground this morning. Yesterday I only got 4 hours in due to the heat. Pardon me. And today I'm going to go through a few steps that we encountered, and I want to pass them on in these videos, and they'll be in the players list down below on the Dodge D250. And we're hopeful these are helpful to others. There was a gentleman with a blue 93 that did a pretty good walkthrough on what that truck got. Just changed the heater core. But while we're in there, my heater core is not leaking. It's $40 my cost, $65 my customer's cost if it was a customer job. But I am not going to ever go back into that box as long as I own that truck or I live. So we hope that, you know, going through these steps will encourage somebody not to give up, especially don't go pick up a Sawzall. I think Chrysler made the people that make Sawzalls a fortune, because first thing I want to do is go in there and cut a big gaping hole. It don't work. When you get in there, there's baffles that separate the heater core from the evaporative core. This real close to the box. Even if you went in there with a razor knife, a heat gun knife, don't cut that box. Don't give up. You know, maybe take it to a mechanic. Yeah, you're going to pay an arm and a leg. Right now, we're right shy of $1,000 in all brand new parts. Everything from, let's turn this around, from the Sandlin compressor, dryer, expansion valve, new lines will go outside here in just a minute. This line is still in really good shape, and I'm going to reuse this manifold line here that goes from the compressor over to the expansion valve and the evaporator core. Let's take us a little walk out here this morning. We'll try to shoot this without too much conflict of walking. Here you see the brand new evaporative core. No, this is not. I had this 89 Bronco, fits several years of Broncos on the shelf. It was close, but it was aluminum. There's the new line there going over to the dryer from a compressor. Here's that wonderful box. I tell you what, you know, it's going to get a thorough cleaning. We can get down in here good. This thing is filthy. It was still cooling on the R12, but with all brand new system compressor, I didn't want any contaminants, and so she's going to get a thorough cleaning. Went to the extra steps to make sure I salvaged this gasket. There's no sense going out and buying one if yours is good. Gonna have to come in here when this is of course going to get all new foam. There's the lid, and being having a trim shop, I've got plenty of new 1/4 inch foam. Everything gets replaced. The doors, this one over here was froze up. I had to actually put some penetrant on it and wiggle it. And here will be the heater core. Somebody pinched it off with a pair of channel locks. and they did a nice job. Heck, this thing's not leaking. Here's those doors. Gonna get all new foam, completely rebuilt. Looks like we got some mice damage right there on that one. Now let's take you around into the night, what we still gonna call the nightmare project, but she's gonna be all like brand new. And there's what you're gonna experience. Take that fan out the front firewall area. Get it out of your way, because you aren't going to have much room unless you take this seat is all the way back. You ain't going to have much room to get in, and be careful you don't hang it coming out and break that dash. Now, let's see if we can get up underneath here. Yeah, you can see that crack right up in there. I can weld now everything from the bottom side. This one's going to be a little tough to see. But here, we'll get up here. I don't want to weld this on the top side. I want to weld it on the bottom side, and then I will come in and lightly fill. I may not have to do anything. May be able to put enough primer and new vinyl dye that will be a pristine dash. Do have a little bit of cracking going on right over the top of the ashtray. Take care of that. But you guys, you're going to need a pile of different tools. It's taking 7/16, it's taking millimeter, some 9s. You're going to have half your toolbox in the floorboard when it's all said and done. And there's that Haynes book. Tell you what, that thing needs to be thrown in the trash. Reason being is, if you look at that book, a paperback, not a good service manual Chrysler book, but the Haynes book you get at your local auto place, it's going to show you a picture of the dash, and completely all isolated out, every component out. And they don't tell you about, the dash don't come out. That box has to pull loose from the firewall, drop down. Then you get to that out of the vehicle to do the work. Once out, you'll of course clean. But don't get intimidated that dash has to come out. That is a whole can of worms. I was thinking about taking that dash out. You got to go pull the cowl vent out on this model, 92. Best I can see, there's some tabs going through out into the cowl where it fits along the front bottom side of the windshield, and you definitely don't want to go in there and start prying around trying to get to the screws you can't get to. Go plan on pulling your wipers off, pull your cowl. I may be wrong. Put some comments down below. I'm not pulling that dash. No way. It's not necessary now that I can weld from the bottom side. So please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell for all. Go into the players list for the D250 if you're a Dodge lover like all of us are. And one thing I want you to take note of, I've got a real good YouTube creator over there at Metal Shaper, and watch his latest video on the Jeep transmissions. Goes through the scenarios of what to get, what parts to get, and buy first-class parts. That's what I've done on this Dodge here. It's just a rule of thumb. You're going to spend dear money on an HVAC system if you're changing over to the 134 right. Replace it all. Yeah, you'll get by for a little while without it. But let's say you do have a brand new compressor and it says, I got a 3-year warranty. They're going to waive that warranty if all those components wasn't replaced and or by an ASC certified mechanic. They just going to get any way they can to knock that warranty out. And this has got a 36 month warranty on this new compressor, and it being nearly $300, just shy of $300. It was $280, but the shipping in here. I don't sell for Rock Auto. I wished I had. I would have saved about $60. I could have got that for $251, same 4 seasons. So look at Rock Auto for your Dodge, and you're going to be very happy. Fast shipping. Actually, it was only for the evaporative core and those hoses $7. Now that's reasonable on shipping. Was here, ordered it on Friday and showed up Monday morning. So y'all take care, stay cool, especially if you live in the region of Texas, New Mexico, and even Minnesota. They're in a real big heat wave. We could see 104 here easy on Sunday, maybe 105. So I'm going to get back to work, and the next video will be hopefully as it's going back either in or in, and we're blowing cold air and some heat. Bears Rod Shop, we're out of here.